Hello, Wendy.
Good evening, Steve. Lovely to see you again.
And you, you're looking very good. And what's this in the background? We've got the welcome to the Wisdom Witches Wellness Weekend.
Yes, the last retreat I had handmade one, and I felt actually the last previous two times ago we'd handmade one, and I decided for the last one I would have a nice poster with some of the pictures that we had taken in previous retreats made. So that's what that poster is about. What we're speaking on tonight.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a lovely night tonight, and do you know I love chatting to you about this event. It's interesting. So this is the third one now, eh?
Fourth one. Fourth one.
Fourth one.
Yeah.
That's right. So it is. So it is. So it's time flies in. Yeah, actually, do you know what? You're probably the biggest return customer for this, and it's interesting. I kind of thought what you do would sit really well with our members, and I know that quite a few of them have came along, and I think they bring a good energy, don't they? They've come along to the last few, and they've made new friends, and you've made new customers for life, and members or clients or friends for
Friends.
life. And
Yeah,
I've
no,
seen some of the photos. I love seeing the photos as well. It's a lovely. You know, I'd like to gate crash one of them myself one time, but we'll get there in the end. It's the cold water dips that put me off, but I know people love that these days.
but nothing's compulsory, Steve.
Well,
It's
that's right.
very
But
much.
why do you think, just before we get started, why is the cold water treatment so popular these days? What is it about it that people absolutely love and dread at the same time?
I think it is the fact that you are going through your own fears, maybe. It is a very rejuvenating, energizing, reaffirming, really sort of life reaffirming experience to go into the cold and to allow your mind to really focus on yourself and not the cold. So when I'm taking people into that cold water when they've never done it before, it's amazing to get people breathing into their own, breathing and grounding into their own heart space and looking at the horizon and completely disconnecting from the cold, and the breath and the focus on bringing yourself into your own space is hugely beneficial. It's really reaffirming. You come out feeling very alive, very energized, very almost relaxed, ironically, and also uh, joyful and empowered. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, everybody does. I've got friends who do it, and they do it. I mean, they're out there every day,
Yeah.
and I tip my hat to them. I was in the water twice last year. It was in summer, and I still consider myself to have made a major achievement to have dipped in, and it wasn't great, to be honest. But it's just I don't know what it is about me in cold water. I'm not brilliant at it. But
A lot of it's mental. So a lot of it is the psyching up of the fact that you're going into cold water, rather
yeah,
than really just focusing on your breath and grounding into self. And that it's almost like a rebirthing of self when you do it regularly, because you just become so attached to and connected to everything that's round about you. It's very hard to describe the the effect it has on people, but it you get just such a huge change. Diane, who's one of your members, actually had never cold water dipped before she came to the first retreat she came in. She's been to a couple now. She is an addict. It is really addictive because of the changes in your hormones, the changes in your energy. It's difficult to describe the feeling of what it gives to you until you actually start to do it on a regular basis, and then it
yeah,
becomes these things you don't want to miss.
yeah. It's funny, and it's just one small part of it, isn't it? And I guess you said there's no obligation if people want it, but it's this ability to test yourself. So anyway, that's the members joining now, and this is being recorded so people can watch it later. There's a chat room there. If anyone's got any questions, we can flash them up on screen. So, Wendy, we're here to talk about your next wellness, water and wisdom weekend. That's what you badge it as.
This one, yes, we sort of badge it slightly differently each time, but this one is very much about wellness and water because the location is situated literally on the water.
Yeah, and just is it mainly aimed at ladies, or again, you'd plan to do a bit of couples with this one, and it's
Yeah,
because you're trying different things, aren't you? I mean, you want to help people. You know that people can get a lot out of this. You're trying to you don't you're trying to reinvent it every time, but keep the magic of the formula that works, aren't you?
absolutely. No, it's interesting you ask about couples, etc. Originally, I was going to have couples, or at least open to everybody. This one, and it is open to everybody,
Yeah.
but in general, we tend to attract women.
Yep.
It becomes quite a magical space, and whether or not there's a change in that dynamic when you bring both sexes into that, I'm not sure. I haven't sort of badged it as an all women's event, but they have
I
been
know.
that,
Yeah.
um, and it works. And I think it might change the dynamic a little bit
And
because
has any guys ever came along? Has it always been?
no, we've actually never even had anybody inquire, interestingly. So I
apart
don't know
from
what that
apart from
says.
me sort of reading between the lines, sort of making sort of tentative little inquiries every time I speak to you. But no, listen, I actually, well, I'm going to share my screen with you because we're going to look at one of the videos which I kind of really enjoyed the first time I saw it, and I think it's valuable for for people to watch it. So this is I'm just going to share my screen, and everybody should see this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute you and I out so that people can hear this and watch this lovely little video. Hold on, I'm going to bring us back in, Wendy.
Yeah, I didn't have any sound there, Steve.
Yeah, I'll bring the sound back in. I'm trying to think how I did that the last time. That sound should automatically just play.
Yeah.
Um, let me come back. Let me come back to that. Actually, I might post that video separately.
Okay.
Um, just give me 2 seconds. I just want to get this back to now again. Excellent. Back to where we should be. Yeah. So, I mean, the video. It's. I'm going to make sure people watch that. So I'm going to bring that video into the recording. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
The video. Let me explain the video, and you can maybe talk about it with me. It was kind of like an interview testimonial of people who'd been there. There's some nice background music there, and it's really heartfelt, isn't it? I mean, it
It,
really is.
yeah. It's very authentic. What it? Yes. Yeah. It is heartfelt what they say, and it's very it's warming to me when I hear people talking about the experiences they've had, because it's just a magical space, and it really comes across how when people talk about it, how much they have appreciated being in the space, and I think
And I think the main word that came along was like connecting or being connected. This, and people have been disconnected for so long, haven't they? Like they're kind of a lot of people feel they're on their own, and I think this really gets people together in a group, but not just that group bonding. There's a connection. How many people would you have there? Is it 12 or 14?
well, last time we actually had 19. Um,
Brilliant.
and this time we have got room for 20, depending on whether or not people want to share different variety of rooms. This venue I would say, is more upmarket from the previous venue we've used,
Hmm.
because they were in dorms in the previous venue, those that came along. And although that was lovely, it was not perhaps as comfortable as the venue at Ardmay House, which is the picture you've got up there. The bedrooms are quite luxurious compared to the tree house where we've had our retreats previously.
Right.
Um,
And this is actually, so let's just take a look at this. So is there any? Yeah, that is that. This is the same house, is
that's
that right?
correct. Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
It's an old
And then
house. Yeah.
the rooms are different.
The rooms are lovely. There's four doubles, four twins, and four singles, and
Hmm.
they are just very tastefully decorated, very comfortable, and just little extras on in the rooms that the hosts provide. The hosts that own the house provide, and yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to a slight change of scene. And I think other thing to say about this retreat is we will be in salt water rather than fresh water, and that
Right.
will
Okay.
be the slight change of balance in energy, I would say, and that will be nice to just experience the dipping in a slightly different way, and it's right on our doorstep. Uh,
Yeah. So it's the 20th of May
yep,
to the 22nd of May. They arrive at Ardney House at 4 o'clock. So there's parking there. And
the,
that's them set up camp for the whole weekend. They can forget about everything,
yeah.
unpack, and everything's taken care of. All the food, everything's all baked into the cake.
Yeah, nice thing also, previously I've done the catering for the last retreats, and this time
Right,
I've actually got a qualified nutritionalist who's
right.
doing the catering, and it's very all homemade, natural food. She's very into the sort of health aspects of and dietary requirements of energy and health. So yes, she is going to be catering for us, and the other thing I would mention is if people want to go up by public transport, they can. You can go by train to Arrochar from anywhere in the UK, and there's a minibus that will pick anybody up who wants to come by public transport rather than car, and they can be made welcome that way. So there's options to travel.
Yeah. And the last, some of our members who watched this the last time, they were kind of just curious, and they watched it and they thought, you know what, I'm going to go, I'm going to try it. I need a bit of me time, and they really really enjoyed it. I was keen. I've been keen every time to find out, get their feedback, see the photos. But again, the same kind of vibe as that video. That they felt connected. They felt, they'd made new friends. They'd a memorable experience, a, a memory that they have for life. They really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, genuinely enjoyed it. So, well done to you and the team. And I think there's a good energy thing. You get good people together who all, the stars align, and you get a good group. I mean, I take it you've always had just a lovely group, and the energy's different every time. But
Yeah, it's amazing, Steve, because for some reason we've created a recipe that really works. I think one thing within the recipe is the way in which we meet people on the first night, and the exercise we do within is based on circles. So it's based on connection and on circles. And the first sort of exercise we do to introduce ourselves is very uh, it takes people to quite a, I suppose, emotional or vulnerable state, and it's a technique that we've used through all our retreats. But after that first session of introducing ourselves, it almost feels like you've known people for 20 years because of this particular technique we use, which is unique to the Wisdom Witches. And it's something I learned in a uh, training, if you like. I had a Danish training I had about the art of hosting, and it allowed this very close connection to get to know people very fast. And that is, I think, one of the unique things and unique offerings that we give within the. And from that Friday evening, it just flows in a very magical way. It's really, it's a joyful space to be in, and people the journeys that people have are quite profound in a lot of cases, to the point where
You mean the journeys that the journeys they've had before, or the journey they have
during
there?
the journey they have during.
Do you have
Uh,
during it? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
from,
I've seen that. Yeah.
yeah, just from the Friday right through to the Sunday, and it's, from my perspective, I just feel very, very privileged to be in that space and to be part of the creation of this space. It's a real honor to
Yeah.
to have found this place, and I absolutely love it. And I see there's a few colleagues actually in the room. Isabel, who came up for the first time last time, London, and she was with us and is joining us again as a facilitator because she's our newest wisdom.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, and Claire is
That's great.
here. Claire's been with us with the journey for over a year now. Not quite a year, but nearly a year, and has attended all the retreats. So yeah, it's been a lovely journey for me and for the other wisdom witches.
Yeah. And can I just check that everyone's hearing the sound okay and everybody can hear us okay? If you can just give us a little thumbs up in the chat or a little chat message.
I'm just looking. Is state of balance? Is that Joy? I'm trying to think whose state of balance is. Because whoever
I
has said hi, Wendy, and I was wondering. Anyway, whoever you
no,
are, if it's Joy.
no, it's state of balance. I don't, I don't know. Somebody's saying, hey, I don't know the handle there. I sometimes see the names and sometimes I don't. But yeah, so any questions people have got, great. So talk me through then. They arrive on the Friday.
Yep. I'll
They've
talk you
got their
through the sort of what the weekend looks like. I'll talk you
yeah.
through
Talk us through that. Yeah, that because I think that's what people want to know. I think the concept of getting away and getting some me time. I think everybody needs it.
yeah.
Anyway, again, you spoke there about Isabel coming up from London. I sent out a message to mainly aimed at our Scottish members, and I kind of reluctantly do that because I think it's easier for the Scottish members to get there, but I don't want to miss anybody out who might be somewhere else in the UK and think I can jump in a car, I can get there, no problem. This is an easy gig for me, and they might, it might resonate with them at the right time. So I'm always kind of reluctant to segregate the Scottish members for this when I know that it's a bigger picture, but
Yeah.
it's like needle in a haystack. I want the right person to see the video at the right time, and they think I'm going to jump in my car. I'll get there, and I think that will happen. Is this, people will see it. The right people will see it, and they'll get the message for the right reasons, and they'll get the calling, and they'll make the decision and come
Yeah.
along and have the
Yeah.
time of their life. But yeah, so talk me through it then, that we can get an idea of the
Yeah. What
the
they
run of it. Yeah.
okay. I'm just seeing. Hi, Susan. State of balance. I wasn't coordinating your name to the handle, Susan. So hiya, lovely to see you or have you here. So yes, they arrive on the Friday, and we, as I say, we do the connecting to begin with, and then we do a sound bath after dinner, just again to allow people to. Sound resonates with as we know, we're over 70% water, and the different sound tones has an effect on vibration resonation on the body. And so we have a sound bath on the Friday night that just allows you to really settle in, and it may bring up some emotional stuff, because the more that is allowed to come forth, the more the transformation over the weekend. So that's the Friday night. So it is quite a full-on Friday night, but it allows people to really quickly come to a place of feeling connected both to self and others. Then on the Saturday morning, we are up early, around about 6:30, and we dip around 7 o'clock in the morning. And we have yoga a half
Is
hour.
that to make it extra cold? Is that part of the colder the better? Is it? It is a cold water therapy after all.
Well, it's a good way to start the day, and it allows for you to, really start the day in a very energized way. So we start with yoga for half an hour and breath work, and then we go for our cold dip, and then we come back and have breakfast, and then after breakfast, On the Saturday, we have some energy medicine, and this time we are going to be doing some work with Isabel, who is a tapping practitioner, EFT practitioner. And so she's going to be doing some work on releasing emotion and trauma, or just really anything that wants to come up via emotional freedom technique and tapping. And then after that, we go on to have a sound session, music therapy, it's called. And it's I won't go into too much detail, but again, it's about the music and how it allows you to almost stir the soul. And then we have some lunch, and then after lunch we do some breathing work, and we have a meditation and a bit of creational journey, sort of creating journaling work. And then we have dinner, and then yoga nidri at nighttime, which is a lovely deep meditative yoga, and it just really allows people to go to sleep.
That got really good feedback, didn't it? In the video, a lot of people mentioned the yoga nidri. What's the difference between normal yoga and yoga nidri?
It's a meditation.
Right.
You're basically lying on the floor, and Louise, who's our...
Is that the kind of yoga where you can fall asleep? Is that possible? Like
Yeah,
you're so relaxed, you
yeah,
could start snoring. That I've done before somewhere.
that has happened. So yes, we do the yoga nidri, and then people are very relaxed before bed. And depending on timing, we may go out to the fire pit, and we may do some intention setting, or some intention setting, and maybe burning some of our thoughts in the fireplace with regard to writing our intentions and then putting them into the fire for moving with that, depending on the weather. And then on the Sunday, we start again with our cold water dipping and yoga in the morning. And then we do an energy medicine session after breakfast. And then we have a light meditation usually that I take. And we then go on to the afternoon when we have a drumming circle. And we close with a circle of just people offering what their learnings may have been, or just saying whatever they feel is within them that they want to offer the circle, and that then we close. So it's all bulleted by delicious food.
Yeah, that's good. And you've got a specialist nutritionist in this time too.
Yeah, yeah.
And is the food, is it vegetarian, vegan? Is it any particular?
It's mainly vegetarian, but it's not. If people are not vegetarians, then they don't have to eat vegetarian. But there's an offering of other things should people want to eat chicken or fish. The menu sort of varies, but it is mainly based on a vegetarian menu.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a very it's a nutritionally balanced menu that the nutritionist is putting together for this retreat. Yeah.
Yeah. And what percentage? I mean, obviously you've got the yoga, you've got the cold water dipping, you've got the intention setting, you've got the drumming. Isabel's saying there that the drumming circle was amazing. The video backed that up as well. There's 2 or 3 people in the testimonials. They love the drumming. How many of these people who would typically turn up have done these things before? Because these are becoming really popular. I know the drumming's becoming really popular now. How many people have done this before, and for how many is it their first time, or is it different for different tasks?
Different every time, Steve, actually. Last retreat there were quite a few, like Susan has done quite a lot of different healing techniques, and was able to bring her own wisdom to the retreat as well, which is lovely. So it's different every time, but it's very much, nobody needs to have any past experience to come and enjoy it. And I would say those that haven't done some of the things that we offer are amazed by what they receive from doing it. So
Yeah, no, I can imagine that. And when they get to the end, what's the sort of feeling like in the room when you're wrapping the whole weekend up? I mean, has the mood changed? I would imagine there's quite a big difference from the first night at 4 o'clock and the last night on the Sunday. There's a different feeling because you're all friends at that point. You've been through this journey together, and you're all going your separate ways and getting back to normal. Does it
Yeah.
feel? Is it
Oh,
an interesting change of dynamic there?
yeah. So what? How I would describe that Sunday when everybody's leaving is it's a loving space, lots of hugging, but also sadness that it's come to an end. You know, it's 2 days, and sometimes I think, gosh, it could be 3, 4 days, and that journey would just keep evolving. But it's a very connected end. There's an awful lot of there's no other word apart from the word love. There's an awful lot of emotional connection and love in the room, and I would say, you know, there's not enough of that around about, and hasn't been over the last couple of years.
That's right. Do you think they go away energized or more confident, or you know, ready to more positive, or do you think it just affects people in different ways? And
It affects people in different ways. I mean, Claire's saying awesome gratitude, growth, and connection. It definitely affects people in different ways, but I would say people just feel more connected, more awake, more in touch, perhaps with themselves. It does make you reflect about where you are and where you want to be, and perhaps what you want to do to increase the movement to get to where you want to be. We also do card reading throughout the retreat, and it's amazing. Very often, the cards that people that are offered or that people pick are the cards that are right for them, and those make you reflect very, very deeply on where you are, where your journey is at that point, and where you want to perhaps move to, and what you need to do to encourage yourself to get there. So it's a real it opens people's um what do I want to say? It opens people's heart space,
mhm.
that perhaps they are so busy in their heads normally with all the noise that's going on outside. Just having that time where there's nothing apart from themselves and those other people that are there to think about and connect with and learn from. So the noise is gone. It's like a passing of time almost. You're in a wee time warp. And even for me, you know, when I'm on these weekends, it is you're in a bubble of a bubble of energy and light and love. That's how I describe it, and it's a lovely feeling. I go home tired after them, but I also go home feeling very, very grounded, very grateful. Use the word grateful.
I think that being grounded is important these days, because a lot of people have got big decisions in life just now, and relationship decisions and personal decisions and jobs, and you know, things about the future. The people are thinking about all sorts of different things. So really getting some time to focus on what it is you're looking for, I think, is really important just now. And it sounds like people get a chance to achieve this here when they're away from the noise.
Yeah, it's taking them out their headspace, taking them
Yeah.
away from stuff that very often directs their daily activities, and bringing them back to center, bringing them back to their own sense of being. And that for me is a gift when you have that space to just and that time to just be and connect with it is essential.
And Ardmay House, it's in Arrochar at Loch Long.
Yep.
Yeah. Prices. Let's just talk about the prices, because how does it work if it was a double room? Because obviously the accommodation is different here. So can we cover how that works? Because I mean, it's difficult to put a price on yourself, and you know it's a break, isn't it? It's like a wee mini, almost like it's not a spa retreat because you're not sitting relaxing all the time, but you're doing all sorts of other things which are probably more important than that type of getaway.
Yep.
Um, but there's a cost because it's a high quality property that you've got the run of for the whole weekend. You're bringing in, you know, nutritionists to do the food. You've got your expertise there, so there's a cost to it.
There
But
is a cost. I mean, yes, there is a cost, Steve, but I keep the prices as low as I possibly can to
yeah,
allow people to be able to attend. If you went to a hotel for a weekend that was fully catered with dinner, bed, and breakfast, you would pay a significant amount of money. The cost for the retreat for the weekend, including all the offerings and the learnings, is between 380 and 620 approximately, dependent on the room that you want. The double rooms are obviously 600 plus 620, I think, is because they do cater for two people, and it, anybody's will, if they want, if people want to share a double room, they can do. And the single rooms are around about 425, and I think the twin rooms are 380. Don't quote me exactly on those prices, but when you consider the value of what people get from the weekend, I don't think that our prices are prohibitive.
no,
Um,
I don't think so either. And I think people get that. And again, what price your health, what price your sanity these days,
yeah,
to get this. But money's not grown on trees for lots of people, and the
yeah,
money is tight. But again, people look at this as an investment. So the people who've got the money to spend, and they think it's within their budget range, they've got to look at it and think, okay, have I got the time? So we're looking at the dates. The dates are the 20th of May to the 22nd of May. Now I know the seats tend to go fast. I think all your courses have been booked, but they tend to get booked around about this time as you're on the run up. And people were still booking right up to the last minute where they think, will I, won't I, will I,
yeah,
won't I? And then they make that leap of faith at the end and say, right, that's it, I'm going, I'll make the
yeah.
commitment. Now, they snap up the last few seats. That's how it tends to have gone the last few times, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we had people even the day before,
Yeah, remember
booking,
that.
yeah, booking the day before. So, and we had space. But there is a definitive at the treehouse. There was ability on being able to take a few more. On this one, there isn't flexibility because we don't have dorms with 6 beds in each dorm type thing. At the treehouse, we restricted it to 3 people in each dorm, but we could have had more people. But it doesn't lend itself as well when we're doing the group work. When we're doing the connection, I would say 20 is as many as we would ever want to have doing the group work. Although Ardmay House is much bigger, and the room that we'll be doing the meditations in and the learnings in is much bigger than the tree house. And it's a stunning room because all you can see out the window is beautiful loch, because it's so close to the loch.
Yeah, all of that's important, and that's all kind of what they're paying for as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it is a top location. I mean, it's as good as you could get, and it adds to the weekend for people.
Yeah, well, the Ardmay are now doing managed retreats, and I can tell you the prices of the retreats are much, much more than the Wisdom Witches. But I'm keen to allow some flexibility for those that are less able to afford high prices. So, we do our best to accommodate those that really want to be in the space. And that's why I look to keep the costs as low as we possibly can without making a loss, obviously, because can't.
Well, yeah, you've got to survive, and but I know you put a lot into it, and I know you enjoy it. But I mean, you're doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself because you enjoy it. But you've got to make it work. But
Yeah.
if it works for you, it works for them, and it's a it's a fair energy swap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to book up, they visit the website, thewisdomwitches.com.
Yeah.
They go to our retreats, and they click on get tickets. They can contact you. I know that they can contact you quite easily through the website as well. You've also
Yeah.
got your membership offer. So there's 10% off if you go for the membership, which is very, very competitively priced, because they can go in for the monthly membership and they still get 5% off. Is that right?
Yeah. I think it's 7% off as the rate as a member, and then that allows you free access to our Friday forums every week, plus our sort of information on the website, which we're constantly updating and hoping to build in a membership library with meditations and energy work and some yoga and some drumming and sound healing. So we're developing our website to allow our members to have a space where they can recapture a lot of their learnings from the retreat. And obviously they're then free to attend the Friday forum, and they get an hour's coaching from one of our wisdom witches, and they get reduced yoga online. And we're also looking to introduce some sound healing eventually online, where our members can actually come in and get some sound healing. So it's a growing sort of feast within the membership.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, it's a kind of life-changing event. People watch this and watching the recording. They they could leave it to the last minute, and like, am I going? Am I not going? Or they could get themselves booked up at the earliest possible opportunity, and then they've got something to really look forward to, and they're counting the days, and you know,
Yeah.
20 more sleeps and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, these are all things, that the build up to an event like this is good when you're going somewhere and you're going to get something good out of it. And you
they would also get a lot of indication of what we are about by attending one of the Friday forums if they wanted to.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if
they get
they're
good
coming on
feedback on them.
and they'd also meet some of the members and get a flavour of how we work in the Friday forum. This week we're doing our session is on sleep, and we have a guest wisdom witch from Ireland called Susanna Healy, who's a very renowned author, well-known renowned author. She wrote The 7-Day Soul and is quite magical in her teachings. She is a mindfulness practitioner, a psychotherapist, and amongst other things. And as I say, she's offering a session on Friday, this Friday, on sleep. And then the following Friday, I'm going to host it, and I'm going to be looking at language, the effect of language patterns, how language affects your state of being. And that's the following Friday.
Well, that's definitely the case. I mean, you are what you think and you are what you say type thing. So that's an important. I mean, these weekly membership, it's webinars you do, isn't it? It's like a sort of webinar, a Zoom type of call.
It's a meeting, an online meeting room, and it's on Zoom. And we usually have between 10 and 15 at the sessions on a Friday. And we're actually starting to do them once a month in the evening as well, to allow those who are working during the day to be able to come on during the evening. And the evening sessions are going to be on I think it's the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30. And the first one we're doing is in June. Am I right in saying that, or is it May? I need to double check. It's online. It will be online, but we're starting our evening sessions because there's a lot of people who have been unable to attend the morning sessions on a Friday. So, and also we want to bring some Americans into the Friday forum, because we've had some connections over there, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning for some of them over in the West Coast. So
Yeah. Well, listen, it's an amazing event. As I said, this is the fourth time we've spoke about it to our members. Our members, I'd love to sit our members down and get them all. It's like herding cats sometimes, but do you know what? The ones who watch it, they tend to watch it. They watch the recording. They watch it in their own time. I'll email out to them again. We'll get this in front of the right people. But you don't need 1,000 people turning up or 500 people. There's 20 people out there with a. Is it 20 you could get in
yeah,
total?
we've got 4 booked at the moment.
And for these double, and that tends to be quite typical at this stage, isn't it? This is the sort of the last minute rush on the build up to it because people think they've always got time, and this is us starting to promote it now as well. These double rooms, that would suit like maybe a couple of pals or sisters or that kind
Yeah,
of thing. Is
yeah,
that
absolutely.
yeah?
Mother
They,
and
they'd be
daughter.
they'd be happy there. Mother and daughter, yeah, they'd have a great time. Yeah,
Yeah, we've had mother and daughter before, one of our retreats, and it was lovely.
yeah, I bet.
Had Caroline and Caroline and Claire, was it? I can't quite remember the names, but yes, and it was lovely to have mother and daughter there, and they learnt a lot about each other, because it's something, you know, the offerings is not something you would necessarily do in independent of coming to something like a retreat or a space where you're connecting with your own sort of self and self state of being, as I would call it.
Well, listen, it's an awesome thing. It's a great retreat. It's going from strength to strength. We're really pleased to be involved in getting the message out to our membership and our group. There's a lot of people there. I'm quite close to a lot of them. We're always I feel as if I know them all. I know that so many of them would like it and enjoy it. Some will be too far away. They'll feel some would travel. We've got a lot of Scottish members there as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully the right people see this message, and the same as the last few, they, they come along and you get a few new followers of the Wisdom Witches, and they get that special experience that they're all looking for. But Wendy, we've kind of ran over a wee bit, but that's great. Anyway, we could talk for a long time about this, but the event itself is where the real magic happens. We're only talking about it and letting people know how to access it
Yeah.
in this event, but hopefully it gives people a little flavour at a high level of what they can expect to get, what it costs, and how it might work. Give them some ideas, and then if they like it, they'll knock down your door to get there, and I think they'll have a ball. So listen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone who took part and commented there, and to anybody who didn't watch it. The recording will be online pretty much immediately after this, and I'll get that out by email to our members as well. So thank you again. It's been really, really great to chat, Wendy, as always, and
Thanks, Steve.
absolute pleasure. Is there anything else you want to say, just in sort of passing to the?
Well, just to thank you again for your support of the Wisdom Witches, and
Yeah, we like what you're doing.
you know, all the members from your perspective, from the Awaken pages that have come on the journey with us, and we've had quite a few now. So
They're lovely.
Awaken pages has been a real godsend to us with regard to what we're doing and where we're going. So thank you very much to yourself.
I know our members could fill your events, and I know you could have more. But just it's how we get these messages. I want to get more of these messages in front of our members. That's the real connection for us. That's the challenge we've got, and we try hard to do it. But do you know what? There's no coincidences. The right person watches it. They
Absolutely.
see it.
Yeah.
You don't. As I said, you don't need 100 people.
No.
You've got four away. There's probably people watching this who want to go. They'll start making their decisions soon, and then you're into the six, and then the next group starts to form. That new energy's
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
form, and that new special experience is winging its way to you. So it'll be great. I can't wait to see the photos of it. I do hope we get lots of members coming along. And thank you again, Wendy. It's always a pleasure to chat to you.
Thanks, Steve. Many, many thanks. And look after yourself, and we'll get you there one day.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. It's been a
Bye all.
pleasure. Thank you.